Thank you for finding time to join us on the show today. And with me in the studio, I have two lovely ladies. Welcome. And we have a special guest who is going to be coming on later. For now, our menu is a favorite snack in Nigeria. It is meat pie, to be accompanied by a citrus drink. So, stay with the show. Don't go anywhere. Now, I'll tell you what we need for this menu. To make the meat pie, we need first of all the dough. And to make the dough, we need flour, baking powder, and margarine. Then for the filling, we are going to be using minced meat, carrots, peas, some chili powder, salt, white pepper, beef seasoning, and some curry powder. Of course, we're going to be frying that with cooking oil. And important and always constant is the onion. So we're going to be using that for the filling. Now, we're going to be eating our pie accompanied with citrus drink. And this citrus drink is just basically two out of the citrus family, two fruits out of the citrus family, the orange and the lime. You can go all the way and use all the citrus fruits that you can find. But today we're just using the oranges and the lime. And to sweeten it, sugar. All right. Also to go in our filling, potatoes, okay? And the fresh eggs, those are for brushing the top of the pies when they're about to go into the oven. So that's the size of what we're going to be needing. But because making meat pies entails going the extra mile to get some of the stuff that you're going to be needing to make your meat pie look quite nice and very appetizing, you need some professional kitchen utensils. This rolling pin, very important. Heavy, smooth rolling pin for the dough. Then you need to have the oven trays. When you're done making your pies, you need to put them in the oven. You need a good oven tray like this. We've oiled this, put on a bit of margarine and dusted with some flour so your pies do not stick when they're ready to go to the oven. So we'll just get on with it. We're going to first of all make the filling and let it cool. We'll be right back. Stay with us. To make the filling, the first thing that we need is the onion. But let me just set the frying pan to heat a little with some oil. Just 2 spoons of cooking oil will do. And then we slice this onion. So, roughly chopped this onion. I'm going to put that aside. Next, we chop the carrots. For this menu, you need preparation time, and usually that would give you need at least an hour of peeling the potatoes, scrubbing the carrots, chopping. These peas, for instance, have already been shelled, although you can buy shelled peas, but you do need some good amount of time to make meat pie because it entails a bit of preparation. To your pie filling, you can also add potatoes and cabbage, but today we are adding just the potatoes. So, ladies, what's your favorite snack? Meat pie. Meat pie, not donut or cake. But have you tried making meat pie yourself before? Okay. So this will give you an idea. Finally, the last potato. Huh. Right, that's done. I'll start with the onions. The onions in the oil so that it will begin to gently heat up. Once the onions fry and they're a little bit soft, the next thing to go in would be the carrots and the potato. We need the potato and the carrots to cook. And then we'll put the mincemeat and every other thing. Salt. Start with 1 teaspoon. White pepper. 2 teaspoons. Chili powder. 2 teaspoons. Okay. And some curry. Just 1 teaspoon curry powder, or maybe 1.5, since we are using about 1 kilogram of meat. And then 3 beef seasoning cubes. So we'll have a little simmer going on for the potato to soften a little. I'll add 1 cooking spoon of water and turn down the heat. Put the lid on so that the potato and the carrots will soften a little. All we have left is the peas and the mincemeat to go into the filling, and then we'll taste for salt. So after we're done cleaning, we'll bring the flour and begin to mix the dough for the pie crust. Stay with the show. Now the next thing that goes into our mixture, the green peas. This is for color. And at the same time that we've put in the green peas, we're putting in our minced meat. Your minced meat must always be cold. So we'll just cover that for now. So that's more than half a kilogram of minced meat. Let's start with that. And then when we give it a mix, we'll see if it needs a little more minced meat. The minced meat is the last thing to go in because it doesn't take long to cook. Once it changes the color a little bit, it just browns a little, the sauce is ready, or the filling is ready. To make dough or pastry for meat pie, or any pastry generally, you need to be consistent with your measuring container. If, for instance, you have 3 of this in a bowl, to make a nice dough, you need 1 cup of water. So the ratio is 3 cups of flour to 1 cup of water. That is the general rule for making dough or pastry. So that's what we're going to start with. Now we have 6 of this here. So we're going to put 2 of this of water here to make our pastry. That's the basic rule. But we're going to add 400 grams of margarine, and maybe a teaspoon of salt, a little more of the white pepper 1 teaspoon, and then the baking powder. Let's start with 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And once that is done, you rub. You just keep rubbing until all the margarine is mixed in. So it's quite a bit of work, huh? This also is about 1 kilogram of flour, almost.
Excuse me. Can someone use cooking oil instead of the margarine?
Yes, you can use cooking oil, but the texture of your dough will be different. To not be and the flavor of margarine is different from the flavor of cooking oil. Margarine has a flavor, and it also has a brighter shade of yellow. Margarine is quite bright, and that also will affect the color of your pastry, and by the time you bake your pie, it will also affect the color. But you can use cooking oil, but it never tastes the same. The taste will be different. We're going to add water to the dough, knead it, clean up a little more, and then we'll make space where we can cut out our dough. So stay with the show as we make this menu, which really is a snack, but it takes a while to make. Stay with us. So after much kneading and adding flour as you go along, you get a nice smooth pastry. To keep flouring the side of your bowl as you go along, so your dough does not stick to your mixing bowl. Knead in one direction, turn and knead, turn and knead. And remember to also sift your flour. You're not only sifting to take out any impurities, but you're also sifting so that you aerate your flour. Your dough needs air. So as you sift your flour, the flour takes in air. And when you're kneading your dough, knead in one direction, so you keep the air in. If you knead in different directions, the air will escape and your dough will not rise properly. So we know it's ready because it's no longer sticking to my hands as such, and it's smooth. We'll just quickly check on our filling. It's supposed to be colorful, and take it off the burner completely because we need it to start cooling down, and leave it open to keep cooling. Now the salt is good. We'll let it cool. While our oven is heating up to 300 degrees Celsius, we're going to roll out the dough a little at a time. You need a nice clean white surface to do that. Floured. Also flour your rolling pin. If you do this every day, you grow some muscles. Great exercise for the arms. Need a little more flour. Two. You take these, oh, that didn't cut up properly. Ideally, you should let your filling cool a little before you put in your pie. So, while we work on the rest of the filling and the dough, we're going to find out why many nutritionists and health specialists tell us to stay away from wheat flour or any other kind of flour, because really it is refined grain. But we're going to find out, do we have a good side to flour or is it all bad news? Don't you go anywhere. Bread is synonymous with food. It is a staple the world over. In recent history, riots have occurred in some countries due to increase in the price of bread. Flour is the source of bread. Grains, tubers, and even nuts can be processed into flour. In Nigeria, grains and tubers are generally refined for making mussels. Commonly used for baking, though, is the wheat flour. However, nutritionists frown at the use of overprocessed flour and the sugar and fat that go into the making of those delicious and near irresistible cakes, pastries, biscuits, pies, pastas, and other countless flour-based products. On the plus side, apart from carbohydrates in flour, using whole grains makes for higher fiber content, which is good for the digestive system. It is also a simple way of adding vitamin A and niacin to diets of the general public. Gluten is the protein found mostly in wheat flour. Studies show that 1 in 1,000 persons may have an adverse reaction to it. Nevertheless, flour is still a popular base for many recipes. So we have one batch of pie ready, and of course the crust for the pie is made of flour, and to glaze it a little we're brushing on 1 raw egg beaten with the yolk, the whole egg that is here, and you beat it, and then you use your regular brush. And we're done. The temperature here has just risen really high because the oven is quite hot. We're going to pop in this batch. After we've put in the last batch, we'll make the citrus drink and bring on our special guest. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. I present to you Nkechi Ede. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nkechi is on this show because I really admire what she's doing, and she's been doing it for quite some time now. Let her tell us by herself what it is that she does.
My business is plantain and fish.
And people just rush all the time to your place.
Always.
Many nutritionists tell us that it is very important to eat that kind of fast food because the nutrition in it, it's still there, it's not processed. How did you think up the idea to start this business?
So from one thing to the other. Some people ask me, am I from River State? I said no, but it just from barbecue, and I decided switching in plantain, and it has been quite interesting since then.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this?
Over 3 years.
And you've been doing it at that same spot in Wuse too?
Yes.
Do you have to pay the rent for that space?
Yes.
How expensive is it?
Very expensive.
But you're breaking even, you're making profit?
Very well.
Oh, well, okay. Okay, but where did you go to school?
I schooled in the north, as in primary and secondary school. And I'm intending going back to Nasarawa Boli.
Okay.
I was once in Abuja University, but one thing or the other makes me to drop out. And thank God I've picked back again to go back.
But the reason you dropped out would not have anything to do with finances, with it?
Family problems.
Okay.
Which
You just had to. You just had to.
have to.
All right. But can you tell us on average how much you make in a day from roasting plantain with fish? Sometimes I see groundnuts by the side. Sometimes I even see yam when I come to your spot. How much do you make on a daily basis?
60,000.
60,000 per day. Wow, baby girl. That is so good to know. And how many people work for you?
Presently 5.
So how much are you paying each of the people that are working for you?
I was doing it in a little page that it will help me and help them too.
Okay.
I pay their transport every day, their to and flow, they eat morning, afternoon. But the least after all that is 10,000 naira plus other things.
Okay, so that 10,000 naira is monthly?
Monthly.
I love it when women take the initiative, but I must say that there must be something inside of you that encouraged you to do that. If there was somebody else like you out there, what would be the most important thing? What would be the factor that you say, this is what will motivate you?
It's God. Because the business, I didn't start it from somebody, but it's just God. And before I go into the business, I prayed and tell God, just take me somewhere. And I've been doing that for these years, and has been my backbone.
Okay, so are you married?
No.
Of it. All right, there's this sauce that you use to serve this boli. Is it a secret? These ingredients in the sauce, what is the secret to that palm oil sauce?
It's just normal thing. Onions and pepper, Maggi.
You know I like cooking, so just tell me now, what is it?
Seasoning is just what you can get everywhere.
Okay.
Ginger, garlic, and there's this thing Igbo called ehu. I don't know what that's called.
Okay. Is it a pepper? Is it what? Is it peppery?
It's not peppery.
Okay. Is it a leaf?
No, it's not leaf. It's a seed.
Okay.
And it's everywhere in the market.
What color is it?
It's brownish. You
Okay.
peel off the skill and use the inside.
The inside. So you powder that and add to your sauce, because I know that your sauce has something that there's one taste that I can't really define in it.
It's just only
Yeah, everybody has seen it on TV. It's really interesting. So how many are you in your family?
From family of 7.
Okay. And what number are you on that?
5th.
Usually it's the firstborns that want to do something extra because everybody is looking on to the firstborn, but you're in the middle and you still are motivated to go out and do something for yourself.
I think people say I take after my mom because
Okay.
she's a very hardworking woman. Some say I don't look like her as in outward, but as in business,
Yeah.
I take after her. So I think
You
that is where
did. What business is she into?
she's into trade.
Okay.
Travel to bring things
From north to south, east to
From-
west
from south.
to
north
north
here,
here.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So is it palm oil? What does she trade in?
She trade in yam,
Okay.
and she go to Bendel, bring them and sell them in a quantity.
So you've taken after her. You know, you deserve a round of applause because it is people like you that make us say, okay, there's hope in Nigeria. Not everybody is waiting for that government job that hardly ever comes. What do you do when you want to relax?
Sometimes I read, sometimes stay with friends who that encouraged me, been source of my encouragement, my mentor.
Okay.
Travel a little, not too much, but travel once in a while.
Okay. That's just it.
And go to church.
Oh, all right. One last thing that I would like to ask you is, what are you going to study when you enter Nasarawa Boli?
I intend going to business admin
Okay.
to equip me more
Okay.
of public admin because they all
Go
work.
together, yeah? Like in 5 years' time, where do you want to see your business after you've gone to Boli and come back? Because you're not going to leave the business to go to Boli, are you?
No, it's part time.
Okay.
I want to see myself being established. Not like Mr. Big, so not like Tantalizer, but locally, but do it in a big way.
All right.
Because I have in mind bringing other seasoning, sauce, bringing other types, so that you can have choice when you're around.
When you want to eat,
area.
you can eat your plantain with other kinds of sauce apart from the palm oil sauce.
And adding other things, local things, not foreign, but things we can see around us.
All right.
To make it big.
All right. Thank you very much for coming to our show. Well, because you've been making boli, and I'm sure that boli is what you eat every day. We made meat pie, which is your competitor, Abby. And we're going to make you eat meat pie on the show today. And of course, we made this juice, fresh orange juice, so that at least we have something healthy.
I think I'll come and learn that from
you. Okay. Thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you.
We'll be eating meat pie and drinking fresh citrus juice. And we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.